Hey, Dr. Patrick Cleansey. In this video, I want to share what has grown my business or businesses and the personal growth. I want to talk about customer service. It's just one of the components of how you grow your business and how you become successful in every aspect of your life, how you interact with people. So, customer service is often looked at, answering phone calls, the etiquette, the communications, or how you provide a service. To me, customer service is not a department, it is a survival skill. And probably I'm speaking from everything is about survival for me because of how I grew up. So I didn't grow my business with marketing budgets or fancy branding. I didn't grow the business by making people try to understand how skilled I was. Well, they found out that I was skilled. To be honest, I want to admit I'm not highly more skilled than most other vets. I grew my business by making people feel seen, heard, safe, especially when they were vulnerable. In veterinary medicine and perhaps some other businesses, the clients bring their pets, and most of them, when I say all of them, these pets are family members. Or also in other businesses, they come to you for a service. Clients don't remember policies; they remember how you made them feel during stressed out stress. In our field of veterinary medicine, clients are stressed out. Oftentimes they're grieving, sometimes guilty because they think they didn't see something, they fed their dog something, and it's not usually the case. For me, I learned early on that empathy creates loyalty faster than advertisement. And luckily, some of it is born in me, and some of it I just learned because that's how I feel when I work with a client. I treated every client as if they were the only ones. In that moment, whether we have 15 minutes or 30 minutes of interaction, nothing else matters. That client with their pet, with their problem is what matters. I put myself in their shoes. And sometimes their financial constraints, I put myself in their shoes when my family didn't have enough for them. And when I have an option to help them with a discount or with reduced services, I will, because I know that we could have benefited from those. Well, that's different though. If some clients they need help, we'll help them. The problem is those who feel entitled. I try to, I don't feel comfortable with entitled people, but anyone who is in need and we can help them, we give them everything that we can, obviously without breaking the business, because we feel for them. I've been able to grow my business because I'm available. I'll call clients personally. I'll call them after surgery. Sometimes if I'm overbooked, then I'll ask the technicians or nurses or assistants to call. I'll stay longer beyond the hours so I could save their pets, save them money, and genuinely do a good job that they would feel comfortable with coming back to us. And that's not the point. I just feel like I gotta take care of them and take care of their pet. I explain medical decisions and medical terminologies in plain language. There's no point to prove to my clients that I'm highly educated or that I speak sophisticated medical terminologies. I already did that in veterinary school. I don't have to. I don't like when computer guys come to my office and they're trying to fix our systems and they're talking to me in jargons, computer language that I don't understand. I don't need it. Tell me the problem, tell me how you can fix it, and let's agree on whether I can afford your services. I do the same for my clients. I simplify the language, the communication, because they're not here to learn veterinary medicine. They're not here for me to impress them on how great I speak medical terminologies. Plain language, humble, and make the client feel safe. They understand the problem. And a lot of times I say, hey, if I'm saying this medical terminology and explaining all the rule outs, all the possible diagnosis, is because I want them to be in the same mindset of what I'm worried about their pet so they can worry about it and make good decisions. But I make them understand the language, what we're doing. And also for me, probably my background helps a little bit. Coming from poverty, it taught me something business schools don't teach you. Gratitude turns into excellence. It works all the time. If I have a client who is satisfied, they'll recommend somebody else and somebody will recommend somebody else, and it keeps happening. We keep growing. One of the things that I've learned is clients don't buy services. They trust me with their family members. They're buying my trust. They're paying for my trust. I don't take it for granted, and I just, that fuels me to do even a better job. I hate losing anyone's trust, be it client, family, my dogs. I just want people to trust me, and it carries through. and they have been able to send me their clients, because you don't want to send your neighbor or your family member to Dr. Patrick Cleansey if you don't trust him. But if you trusted him and he did a good job, you feel comfortable sending your client to me. So that has worked for me. And some of the things that have worked for me that we can share here is that I outworked expectations because the client mattered. I saw customers and helping them with difficult situations when they needed help for a modest fee. And you know what? If you lose a little money one time, it's not the end of your business. You make it up when they send another client and another client to see you. You don't have to make it up front. I don't work on transactions. I work on relationships. I learned to listen deeply before speaking. There were studies. I was doing a TED Talk, and one of the speakers was actually going to talk about how there is a high percentage of clients whose medical issues were resolved without a lot of diagnostics and crazy tests because the doctor took an extra time to listen. And this is in human medicine. So I've learned that. Sometimes I'm in a rush and I want to get to the bottom. I already know what's happening, but I like to make the client feel like they've explained everything. In fact, that's why for me, I don't usually have my nurses or technicians go to see and give the history before I go in, which is a common kind of trend and habit for veterinarians or doctors. The nurse comes in and takes a blood pressure, temperature, and all that stuff. And then they take the history. You know, what's your concern and all. They come and talk to the doctor, and then the doctor comes in and discusses with you. I do not do that. It's the normal, that's how we're taught. That's the whole process in veterinary medicine and sometimes medical doctors. I will go to the exam room. The first interaction, I go with the nurse. I listen. Because sometimes I don't understand why another human being has to go in and the client has to tell them their story. Then I come in. There's two options if I don't go in first. Either they're going to talk to the technician, then I'm going to have to listen again. Or if I'm not listening to their whole story, I don't feel like the client is convinced that the nurse transferred all the message to me. And in all honesty, transferred message always has something they've missed. So I like to hear it firsthand and directly from the client. And I feel better that we're not missing anything. I ask the right questions. I've had a doctor, one of our employee doctors who doesn't work with us anymore. She would ask the nurse, did you ask this question? Did you ask if the dog has been eating? Has the dog been vomiting? And I was like, what the heck? This nurse or technician is not trained or is not curious about the possible questions you want to ask because she is not the doctor. Why are you not going there and ask those questions you want to ask, because they'll lead up to their diagnosis and the test you want to do? And I actually honestly find that lazy and also not personable, because when you listen, you ask the right questions as a doctor, because one comment the client has made can lead you to a whole different thought process than what you are thinking. So that way you build trust, you build a good history to make you choose the right test to do, because you listen and you heard firsthand. And then the client trusts you. Trust compounds. Once earned, it markets for you. You don't need big marketing ideas. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. We advertise. We, have advertisement teams. But the biggest advertisement are personal referrals, because clients will tell their friends and their families and their neighbors about what we did, and then they feel comfortable coming in to see us. So long-term investment is not cost. What most businesses get wrong is they optimize for efficiency, for policies, for drop down protocol. If a dog comes in with bloody diarrhea or something, there are standards of care that we have to follow. I optimize human connection. So my approach is one extra phone call. It saved 10 future complaints. One direct interaction with the client, save the time that we have for not to waste with the nurse, getting the history, and then going to the exam room and then getting the history again for the same patient. I should just get all the history. The nurse can help me take a temperature, examine a patient, and then once I make a decision, she'll do all the tests that we've decided, put the medications together that I've calculated. One sincere apology creates a lifelong trust with the clients, because I'm going to admit I've made mistakes, and some of them have been, bad, and I felt bad about it. Immensely and sincerely felt bad about it. And some of them came from not lack of experience or skill, just concern for the client's cost of doing medicine with referral hospitals and emergency care vets. I'm not criticizing them. They do a wonderful job and we need them. But I was blamed for not doing something that I was supposed to do when I actually had discussed with a client and I thought that would be the best option and the pet would be safe. But I will apologize in all honesty and with sincere, meaningful apology. Now, the other things that we've done that have been different, I will forego a short-term inconvenience and create a long-term loyalty. I will work past the hours if I have to. I will text a client all the way until midnight and sometimes after midnight. I'll make sure they can get a hold of me if they did want to go to the emergency hospital. In some sense, because they don't have the funds, sometimes they feel like it's not necessary, even against our recommendations to go. If they don't go, and even when they go, I give them my personal cell phone to have on hand. Even when a pet goes to the emergency hospital, they don't know them on a personal level as they know me or as I know them or their pet. So I'll give them a personal cell phone. And when they discuss with these doctors who are wonderful, they feel comfortable to say, all right, we trust that plan. And if they have any doubts of what the doctor is recommending, they'll actually text me or call me at night after hours and say, hey, Dr. Patrick Lindsay, do you think that's the right thing? Should we go ahead and do it? A lot of times I encourage them to listen to the emergency doctors because when I'm not in there, their dog or pet is well taken care of and they should trust the doctor who is watching their pet. But the extension of my personal cell phone, it creates peace of mind that they feel comfortable discussing with the emergency critical care doctor. And if they run the ideas they have been given, because a lot of times in medicine, we tend to give so many options and so many alternatives. So we have the client say, well, you could do this, or you could do that, or you could do that, you can do that. And some of the reasons is because we want to protect our license. My clients know that I will guide them without fear of condemnation, without fear of blame if things don't work out, because I advise them from the bottom of my heart and they trust me. So if a vet, a specialist or a doctor gives them all these options, some of them are overwhelming. I'll break it down for them and suggest what's the best approach for their pet without intervening or making the other doctor's job complicated, because honestly, we rely on specialists to do things we can't do. We rely on critical care doctors at night to see patients we can't see because we close in the evening. So I don't interject myself by telling the doctors what to do because I can't. And that's not right. And that would be wrong. But I talk to my clients and either calm their nerves down and say that doctors are doing the right thing. You should let them do it. And if they can't afford it, we go through all the options and they feel really good. So I extend myself past the hours where other vets and doctors are saying, oh, no, I don't share my personal cell phone because when I'm done with work, I'm done. Well, that's fine. But when I extend my cell phone, I get inconvenienced maybe once a week or twice or 5 times a day after hours. Guess what? I get 20 clients that week that are new because somebody told them about me. What I've modeled our businesses are calm under pressure, respect during conflict, ownership of the things that went wrong with being sincere. On the other hand, if you as a client are not convinced we're the right fit for you, or you're demanding more than we should be doing, even when we extend ourselves and give you all the courtesy and kindness and modestly priced estimates, and you don't have money, we'll give you all the discounts if we feel like we can. But if you're not comfortable with that and you actually act entitled, or you believe that we should do more when we're not obligated to, we'll ask you to find a different hospital and we'll send all your medical records. And sometimes when I'm really not wanting to spend my capital, my time and my effort on a person who I don't feel comfortable with developing that relationship, I don't want to spend all that time. I actually shift that time to the very wonderful, amazing clients that have the expectation that we can take care of them and they trust us. They don't have to trust us. They don't have to take all our time and give us a lot of grief just because we're trying to get their business. No, ours are not transactions, they are relationships. So we'll ask them to leave. And it's very rare that happens, but that actually has happened. And I always feel comfortable. I'd rather keep a few clients that trust me and I have a relationship with them than those who come in and they like to cause trouble. And usually this is not because of, me and the client misunderstanding each other. It's because if they don't respect our employees, they don't respect our technicians or front desk and they're rude, and we've talked to them and they don't care to change, we do not want to spend time, money, and effort with them. So the bottom line is, I didn't build the successful business because of being perfect. I built it because of being present. Now, I want you to carry something out of this talk. When you do good customer service, it shapes your team culture also. If I act a different way or work a certain way, my employees will follow that, and we build a team culture of care, courtesy, present, and hard work. We also like to follow through and check on clients. We like to show that it wasn't just that transaction. We have clients who leave town, and even though I don't have a license to communicate, to work or advise them outside the state of Colorado, we'll tell them to find a doctor and get things that we think their pets need to get with a licensed vet in that new state. And trust me, we get a bunch of clients call us and say, hey, can you recommend a hospital that is like yours? And, sometimes we don't, but we usually guide them on what to look for in a veterinary hospital. I think if you treat every client as a relationship, it carries a long way. And like I said, trust compounds. In the long run, that's the profit. So please let me know how your business or how you've grown your business or how you feel that your business has been successful, a business that deals with clientele. And thank you so much for listening.